So welcome everybody to the Leading Leaders Summit, where you are learning actionable strategies to transform yourself, your leaders, and your organizations from the inside out. And I'm super excited to have a new speaker here with us today, Amna Khaliq. Hi, welcome. So great to have you here.
Thank you, Sarah.
So you're joining us today from Calgary in Canada, that's right?
That's right,
Yes.
yes.
Awesome. So not far away because I'm here in Victoria. So we're practically neighbors in this global community. So I'm really excited to bring you here to really talk with us about how you've been able to transform education by bringing a new perspective on it and how you're using that to build future leaders. So I'm wondering if you don't mind maybe sharing a little bit about your background. I understand, Amna, that you have background in economic development, strategic leadership, where you've actually got a PhD in that. So I would love to dive into that even more and maybe in a future talk. But maybe if you'd just like to introduce yourself a little bit and then we'll dive in.
So basically, my name is Amna Khaliq, and I have been in education industry for the last 8 years, specifically in online education for the last 7 years before COVID. And last year, I have an MBA in economic development, a bachelor's in business administration from Windsor University, MBA in economic development from Cambridge University. I have a PhD in strategic leadership from University of California, Southern, which I just finished last year. So very happy that I
Congratulations.
finally finished it.
That's
Yeah,
amazing. And so much, what a nice variety of education to have that all kind of come together for you.
thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
So when I started teaching, I got into education industry. Basically, I noticed that when we have a lot of students who are coming from different parts of the world to Canadian education system, especially from India, China, Latin America, Philippines, and they were not ready for Canadian education system because Canadian education system focuses on creativity and it doesn't focus on learning and memorizing. Sorry, it doesn't focus on
Mm.
memorizing, whereas a lot of countries they mainly focus on memorizing the material. So what you do, you take material from internet, copy paste it, and you give it to your instructor, and then they mark it and they give you grades. In Canadian
Mm.
education system, we value research work a lot, we value
Okay.
practical work a lot, and we value soft skills, which sadly sometimes we don't focus too much on. So what I did in my first class that I noticed that I have a lot of international students, and there was a group project at the end of this semester where they have to present as a group, and they were very nervous to even present it as a group. Where 5 or 6 students, or about 4 to 6 students roughly, they'll come together and then present about a topic in front of the class. So I noticed that they were very scared about it. So I said, "Why you guys are scared?" And they said, "This is our first time presenting in front of a class." They didn't know how
Mm.
to dress business casual. They didn't even know how to stand in front of the class. I have seen students sweating. I've seen students crying. I've seen students leaving the class.
Aw.
I've seen students suddenly getting sick and sending me emails that they're not going to show up. So what I did
Mm.
is I started pushing every student in my class. I kept 2 or 3 classes just for this, just for the sake of that you will come in front of the class and you'll present individually about a topic of your choice. So let's suppose if we are doing a marketing course, I will say, come and talk about price, come and talk about place, come and talk about promotion. Any topic of your choice, you come in front of the class and you speak about 5 to 7 minutes. So when they come in front of the class without notes and speak in front of students for 5 to 7 minutes, they're actually facing the scariest part of their life. They are scared, they are nervous,
Right.
they are throwing up. And then I have literally seen
Mm.
students throwing up. I've seen students
Oh
telling
my.
me 10 minutes before the class that, "Oh, I'm suddenly sick and I can't show up for this class." I said, "No worries. You'll show up for the next class. We'll take you in the next class. You'll show up for the
Mm.
next class. We'll take you." So I pushed them. It was hard. It was hard. It was not easy. But once they go through this process of presenting in front of the class, it helps them to build confidence level in them. Every
Mm-hmm.
single time when they have presented and they have sat down, they told me that they loved it. They loved the
Oh,
experience.
amazing. They got over that fear part. And
Exactly.
yeah, that's great.
So then what one thing that I would do is I at the end of so once I have these presentations done, then I would and I have a criteria to mark and all that. So then I'll ask them to do a confidential survey. I'll go in front of the class and say, just take a piece of paper, don't write your name on it, just give me answers of these questions. Did you like presenting individually? Would you do it again? Couple of questions. So they would just give me answer yes or no. So then I'll take all these papers and I'll give it to one of the students in front of the class, and then that student will do all the calculations.
Mm.
So far, I think my success rate has been 95, 97%. So they love
Oh,
to hear me
wow.
presenting.
Oh,
Why?
that's amazing.
I actually, like, I had students coming and say, can we give you a hug? Because it's the first time presenting and it helps them with their confidence building. And then
Mm-hmm.
just, and in business world, you have to be an extrovert person. Yes, you're an introvert person, but you have to fake it until you make it, right? So you have to act like you're an extrovert person, right? You have to
Mm-hmm.
be out there in the business world. So that helped them with this, with building that confidence level, with building that soft skills that we normally don't focus on. So then one thing that I started doing in my strategic management course is I ask students, again, 4 to 6 students, you work together and, you create your SWOT analysis about your group. So find out your strengths, find out your weaknesses as humans, find out what are the things you can improve, what are the things you're scared about. Focus
Mm-hmm.
on that, and then find out how you can create a business among yourself. So what my target was that you raise $100 for a local community, for a local NGO. You could you raise $100 for them, and then the maximum budget you have is $20. So basically, you have to raise $120, and that $20 will go back into your pocket. But that $100 you will go and you will give it to an NGO of your choice. But in order to raise that $100, you have to figure out what are the things in your group which you are successful about, which are your strengths. So I always say focus on your strengths, don't focus on your weaknesses. Because
Same.
if you
Yeah.
focus on your strengths, you will hire someone for your weaknesses eventually, right? So
Right.
you don't need to
Yes.
worry about your weaknesses. So what I ask them, focus on their strengths. So that could be they're good at making Indian food. Awesome. Make Indian food and your budget is $20. And that $20, you have to raise $100. Figure it out. You want to sell popcorns? Great. You want to do, uh, talent hunt party? Go for it. You want to organize a concert? Awesome. Let's do it. So we did all of that stuff. The very first time I went to the class and I talked to them, actually, I talked to my chair and dean about it, and they said, you have to be careful because we're talking about money with international students, and they may not understand that this is not their money. This goes to an NGO. And I said, I'll make
Mm.
sure that they understand this very clearly. Then I went to the class. We did this little exercise where I said, okay, let's do a SWOT analysis on yourself. They did that. And then I
That's a
said, what?
powerful like idea on its own. I think I have to go do
Right?
that myself. It's a great idea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What are the things we're really good at and what are the things we should work on, right? Opportunities.
Hmm.
So then, once this happened, I went to the class and I said, guys, this is your first day of class. We're going to do a real life project here. You guys are going to go out and raise funds. And none of them agreed to me. It took me a
Mm.
whole class to make them agree. And at the end, they said, no, we're not going to do it because they're scared. It's their first time in Canada. It's their first or second semester in Canada. Most of them are international students. They're scared. They're nervous to even go out of their comfort zone and talk to local people, right? They're in their
Hmm.
small
Okay.
bubbles. So then at the end, I said, you know what? I'm your professor. If you don't do it, you get a zero. We have a whole
Mm.
semester to worry about it. You have to do it. So they said, no, no, we're not going to do it. Okay, let's find the NGO you like. Okay, so they slowly started, okay, figuring out local NGOs that they liked and they really liked from the bottom of their heart. So they got excited about it. I said, that's fine. Now, what are the businesses you can run? So we did this project for about 4 semesters and we ended up raising $16,000. So
That's
our target was
amazing.
to only raise $100 a group. That's it.
Oh,
So
congratulations. That's so
thank you.
cool. What an
Thank you. We
amazing
became so
impact.
famous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I imagine. That's
So
incredible.
so at the end of like the very first semester that we did it, we ended up raising about $2,000. We were supposed to raise about
Oh,
$500, $600.
oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. The students
So
must have been so pleased and you yourself as well.
you
That's
know,
amazing.
Sarah, I think it's something that you don't want to start, but once you start it, you don't want to stop because you know what
Mm,
you are actually doing. It's genuinely helping someone out there. Even if
yeah.
it's buying $2 bus ticket, it is going to help a homeless person in minus 30 there. Right? So it actually
Mm.
makes a difference. So once they understood this part, they never wanted to stop this project. Like to a point where at the end of this semester, I had to tell them, guys, it's stop. We have to finish the project. We have to submit them and we have to, do our celebrations. So the first semester we did it, I went back to my dean and I said, I think we should do something special for them. So we ended up giving them certificates. We also did a big celebration. We invited local media for them. And
Oh,
then,
amazing.
yeah. So we went on radio, we went on television, and I actually also got a grant from an award for it and also a grant for it to take it further.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank
Oh,
you. Thank you.
wow.
Yeah. So we did a big concert. In the next semester, we organized a very big concert, class-wise big concert. Uh, we invited a very well-known band at our, at our institution, and we ended up raising a huge chunk of money, which we never thought we would be able to raise. Again, it happened because I got the sport, and then I supported
Mm,
my students. And what I did
mm,
is taking a small idea and transforming that and making them and realizing that something small can be really big. But then
Mm.
at the same time, they were learning these soft skills where they raise funds. And I remember I had this group where there's $70 and they're like, we didn't raise anything. I'm like, no, even $70. Yes, you were supposed to raise $100. It's okay you raise $70 because still you did all those, actions that you were supposed to do for $100. It's okay. It's okay if plans
Mm.
change last minute. It's okay because now you're going through flexible business organization, right? You're understanding how a real life works. It's not always A to B. It's always A to B to X to Y to Z to C, right?
Right.
You go through that learning process, right?
And I
So
love
we
how
did
you
that.
brought this passion, they found something that they were excited about, and then they could use that as a motivator to kind of go through maybe the challenging parts as well.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So one semester, I had a bunch of students who that they were not able to raise funds, but then I said it's okay. How about we collect items? So we collect more than 500 items, right? So again, let's do something practical where you have to go out of your comfort zone and talk to other people in community. In this way, they also built networking. I had students coming back and saying, actually, I got a job through this, right?
That's
So those
amazing.
Thank
Hmm.
you. So I think what it is basically you start from transactional leadership where you give them this is the pros and cons, this is your agenda, this is your target, and then from there you go into situational leadership where they become leaders on their own within that
Mm.
circumstances, and from there you make them transformational leaders at the end of the day.
Ah.
When they come out and they are so confident that they go in front of dean and they actually present their projects, and they have local media who are coming and interviewing them and taking. So I think that helped them with the whole process. And that
Hmm.
helped me because my area is strategic leadership, right? So I think that was really neat. Now, after doing this for a semester, and I realized I was becoming successful, what I did is I asked them, let's go to local businesses, just local businesses. We're not talking about big businesses, not franchises. We're talking about real local businesses. We're going to go to them. We're going to ask for their permission, and we're going to interview them. We're going to collect that information, collect that data, and we're going to analyze it, and we're going to give them recommendation. So it's a
Ah.
free consulting project for that business. It's a free consulting experience that you are getting it, and it helps. It's a win-win situation. And then for me as a teacher, you get your group project done. But instead of
Ah.
writing an essay about Walmart or Safeway for 2,000 words, and every all the information is online basically, and now with ChatGPT things have changed completely. Why don't we go to local business and we actually consult them? So once you do this consulting business, you come back, you present their data to the class with their permission, and of course there are
Mhm.
things that we're not going to talk about, like financial. We'll know their financial situation is going good or bad, but we're not going to get into details in numbers because it's confidential information. But once you do that, you invite that local business, they come to class, and then you do a presentation in front of them. You do a presentation in front of them. We have a discussion in the class about your presentation. What are the things that we can do better? And then you go back to them. You give them their consulting project with my recommendations on it, and then you give them a thank you card.
Oh, wonderful. Oh,
Right?
amazing. That's
So
great.
so I think these ideas really help them to see that yes, there is a textbook which is talking about a lot of theoretical stuff, but sadly after COVID-19, a lot of things have changed. I remember
Mm.
when I taught the very first course in 2017 online, I had to go to literally to my students and say, guys, I am teaching an online course. Please join it. Please join it. And they joined it because okay, they liked Amna. That was the only reason that they want to take it. But after COVID-19, I see a huge
Mhm.
difference in mindset. It's like a paradigm shift. They want to take this online course because they know it's easy. It's easy for them. They can work full time, part time. They have family to take care, so they can figure out that. They can study at their convenience, at night time, at
Mhm.
morning. Everything is available for them, right? And I think part of them is also they learned how to get correct information from Google. Because Google has a lot of
Mm.
information, but it's a skill set how to find the correct information from the Google, right?
Right.
So so that has shifted a lot. So what I did this semester, same idea. I said, let's go to local businesses, but they said we're doing it online. I said, that's fine. We can do it. Still, let's do it. So we went to local businesses, interviewed them. A lot of times they would come back and they'll cry. They said the business said we're not gonna, we don't want to spend time with you for an interview for another 20 minutes. I said it's okay. Let's find another business.
Mm.
I
Mhm.
think as instructors, as professors, our role is to support them.
Mm.
Yes, it may take you a little bit more time, Because now you're not talking about 9 to 5 job. Now you're talking about you'll get an email suddenly over the weekend and say, Amna, that business has said no, they're not going to let, interview us, or something like that. Or we are not getting along with our group members, or this has happened, or we have lost our data. Yes, you may have to go extra miles as a professor, but when you see them transforming at the end of this semester, the growth that you see in them, it's mind blowing. It's like it's what keeps me so excited, motivated as a teacher, to be honest. It's really worth seeing that, right? And then they go and then they give them a thank you card, and then the business owners, they get a smile because they helped their students, they helped their local community,
Well, and I'm
right? So
hearing a win-win all around. So you're developing this broad range of skills that are needed, especially as we're having more diverse backgrounds of education coming into, into online or learning environments, like you're saying, and how you're creating these future leaders by creating practical experiences for them to really connect to real people, not just, like you said, textbook. That's amazing.
Thank you so much. So then I started doing is, so again, you do a little bit and you see it becoming successful, and then it opens a path for you for another thing. And then you do that, and then it opens up it's not that you decide you're going to go to why. You just keep on doing things, you keep on saying yes, and something will open up and you'll enjoy it, and then something will open up and you'll enjoy it, right? So that's how things work. So then I had a bunch of students coming in, and they told me that they have some great business ideas. I said, I'm teaching marketing course. Do you want to do it? And they said, yeah, they want to join my course. Sounds great. Let's do a marketing course. So they got into my marketing course, and I said, let's create real business ideas. Anything after graduation you want to work on. Anything. I had comic book stores ideas. I have, daycare ideas. I have little, home business ideas, jewelry baking ideas, all that. Let's make those ideas and let's see how we can market it. So let's create a business idea, practical business idea. Let's find our, create our, statements and find out how much money we can make. Because the business, the first 2 years, you're successful if your business is break even. Let's be honest, right? So if you are breaking even, that's what I had students walking in. They say, "Oh, we're going to take loan for $300,000 from the bank." But why would bank give you this much loan, right? Those questions, answering those innocent questions that they wouldn't normally realize that they'll get it, but no, you're not going to get it that way in Canada, right? So I think things like that help them to understand that running business and thinking about doing business is different. It's very different, right? So with that, and then we created a whole marketing project around that business. So this is a great business you have. This is a great business idea you have. It's unique. So I always tell my students, think about as stupid as you can. And then that is a successful business idea. Anything will sell. Anything will sell. It's just you need to learn how to fulfill. So people don't have needs. You have to create needs for them. And then anything will sell. So if you keep that idea in mind, which they did, and then you create marketing around it, there you go. We're talking about anything weird, and that will sell, and then you'll make money, right? So
That's
I think,
amazing.
thank you. So I think at the end of the for me as a teacher, what I really like is the practical application of what I teach, when they're able to see theoretical material and relate it to the practical experience. Right?
Well, and
So
I'm
I
hearing
think,
from a leader perspective too, how you kind of took maybe what I sort of overgeneralized to say, the old way of teaching where it's a textbook and then you just learn, like you said, the information and then that's it, but you're actually applying it and creating ways to also integrate into the community is just such a wonderful idea. And it makes me sort of brainstorm as I'm listening to all the ideas that, maybe organizations can do that as well. Because I know that we all feel better when we are giving to, contributing to something bigger than ourselves, right?
and we feel relatable to that. Because when you're learning textbook, it's just textbook material. Okay, a case study happened at Amazon, a case study happened at IBM. But when you're actually doing it, you're creating that case study, you feel related to it. Because you're going through the experience now. And that changes you. Because let's be honest, nowadays, we live in a TikTok world, right? We live in a world where I know I'm teaching you online, but at the same time, I know you're doing multitasking. Because that's how it is, right? Online education has a lot of responsibility on students. It's students' responsibility. It's not teacher-oriented. It's student-oriented online education.
Interesting.
So when it's your response, but when they're not interested, but once they know that they can feel related to the material that they're learning, then they are interested in doing so.
Well, and I can
Because we
see
have,
the passion that you're bringing to the teaching and that you're encouraging people to find themselves as well, which is amazing. And that's what we want in our future leaders, right? Is people that care and are passionate and are confident to bring themselves forward.
And you know what, to be honest, Sarah, I can countless times I have seen girls and boys in my class crying because it's tears of joy because the first time they have actually done something in real in their lives. They have never
Mm.
experienced it. They have to go to local businesses, ask for their permission, give them thank you card. Sometimes they, they buy little gifts, and I tell them, guys, gifts are not important. You can just go to Dollarama, buy something small, and give it to them. They'll appreciate that gesture. They know you're students, and they want to do these things because they're loving it because this is coming straight from their heart. They can
Mm.
see the practical implication of their learning into the real world. And sadly, we don't anymore see that. Most of us, we just want to get a piece of paper because we need to have something in order to say, yes, we have a piece of paper so we can get to our first job. But once you see the
Yeah.
practical application, that's what puts you on fire. And you're like, yes, I want to do this, right? So
Absolutely. It makes me want to come and take your class.
you're
Super
very
fun.
welcome.
So Amna, this is so cool. And I look forward to perhaps exploring these topics more with you in future sessions. But today, is there any sort of other kind of thoughts that you're wanting to pass on to people before we close out the conversation?
I think as communities, as institutions, education institutions, we should focus on soft skills a lot, and we should focus on practical learning.
Mm.
When we are focused too much on just MCQs and writing essays and all that, that can be done easily through ChatGPT or artificial intelligence. I think once we do something practical, yes, the first time it will be harder, but I promise you, it is so worth it after this. You'll get so many hugs after that.
It sounds amazing. And it really is, our society's changing, like you said, with all of this AI approaches to things, and leaders and teaching and learning and business kind of activities are all going to shift, but we are still all humans.
That's right.
And really that's what I'm hearing you to say. The soft skills is going to be even more important as we move forward. So I just say thank you, Amna, for being here today with sharing your kind of a case study or an example of how you can kind of change things up and make it more relevant and real in kind of this current age that we're in. So I'm just wondering if you have any final thoughts, and then where can people connect with you if they want to find out more about your work?
So the only place you can connect with me is LinkedIn. Just
Mhm.
find Amna Khaliq from Calgary, and you'll find me there. And yeah, I'm open to suggestions. I'm open to anytime you have a great idea, just message me. I literally, yes, I'm one of those people who actually reply on LinkedIn. If you message me, I'll reply back to you.
Wonderful. Well,
I
that's
will
how
not
we
ignore
got
you.
connected, which is so
That's
amazing.
true.
So, yeah, glad we could connect today, Amna. And I really enjoyed you sharing your story and the journey that you've taken the students through. And I just wanted to say thank you for all the work that you're doing with them, because that is creating the future leaders that we have coming through
And
into
it's
the
those
next
little
phase.
moments, those micro
Mhm.
moments that will help them to find out these are the strengths that they have. And that's all we
Mhm.
need to focus on. That's all we need to focus on, right? So yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much once again. Thank you. Thank you, Sarah.